Hello, everybody out there in the internet. Welcome to Aimless Filler, number 21. I'm Taking Master, joined by
RPG Maniac 05.
Entraptical, yeah!
Oh my.
I have returned.
Okay.
My own fanfare. Sheesh. So, are the fillers ever going to end? Do we know?
Well, we're already at 10% of our actual episodes, so, I mean, at this rate, we'll get to filler 200 before we get to episode 200, so yay, go us!
Perhaps we should rename the podcast.
Yeah.
The podcast is dead. Long live.
Well, Tekken wanted to call us, you missed it last week, because Tekken wanted to call us, like, Dangerous Box of Chocolates or something.
Whoa, I was just calling for a rename of the Mirror Match to Dangerous Box of Chocolates.
Well, either way.
Like Deadly Box of Chocolates.
And I was like, the implications of that.
That's the funny thing.
Considering the two of us are...
Yeah, exactly. It works as a euphemism, kind of, as a funny one. Because we're a Deadly Box of Chocolates. You just open us up and we're going to kill you and stuff.
Yeah, because that's
or something.
When you open up your chocolate. Something that'll kill you. So...
I'm just like in Mass Effect 3 when I'm carrying you to the finish line.
Oh my god, no you won't. Shut your lies. Shut your lies.
Oh, man. But, yeah, we don't know what's going to happen this week, so bear with us. And starting off the aimlessness, RPG wanted to know if Crunchyroll is a subscription service.
I did.
And it is. Because, well, so first of all, Crunchyroll is the anime viewing, subtitled anime viewing app on the PS3. But they also have, a website that you can go to, much like Hulu, and just watch episodes there. The only difference between a paid subscription, so there's two differences. One, if you're paying for a subscription, you get new released anime episodes about an hour after they air in Japan.
Mm.
Because Crunchyroll is actually an officially, they officially get these licenses. Did something just happen? I heard a beep. Okay, never mind. Yeah, so it's official, so it's all legal and stuff, and so you can get these things really quickly. The other thing that you get with a subscription is there are no ads. And I
love ads.
Man. So, I actually haven't paid for Crunchyroll yet. They sent me an offer for a 30-day trial because they just launched on Xbox 360.
Ew.
And so I was like, okay, fine, 30 days. I can't really play or anything, so passive entertainment is fine now because my hands are usually full.
I told you, just get a baby harness. You don't let it. Seriously.
So anyway, I started watching it, and holy cow. I must applaud them for their design. Like, their ads, when you're not a subscriber, the ads are so annoying, so intrusive, that taking them away completely changes the experience of using the service.
So it's like, basically, they're like, yeah, you want to buy this, because...
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, we'll just make it so annoying to use for free that people will have no choice but to pay for it. And it's like, yeah, I feel like they've succeeded. Like, an anime episode is what, 20...
It's like 23, 24 minutes or so, yeah.
Very short. And then there's a song at the beginning, a song at the end. So each of those is a minute, maybe?
About a minute and a half.
Yeah, so then you got, 19 to 20 minutes of actual show. And then a lot of shows have, those show, like, Naruto is the thing I've been watching. So, for example, the first 4 or 5 minutes will be what you saw in the previous episode. And so, you're... In the end, you're down to like 15 minutes of actual new stuff.
Yeah. Bleach is guilty of that, too.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, so 15 minutes of new stuff, and I've never actually timed it, but I think it's something like 5-6 minutes of ads.
Ew.
Divided in front of the show, so before the show starts, you watch a whole bunch of ads, and sometimes It depends on what you're watching it on. On the computer, it seems to have the most ads. And so they'll show you lots of different stuff. But on the tablet, it just shows you the same ad 4 or 5 times. Then it starts the show, and it's like, okay, so I've seen this part. And it's like, oh, the theme song is the same, so I've seen that part. And then it goes to another ad, and it'll do maybe 3 or 4 of the same ad again. And then it goes on, and you watch, that little 5-6 minute section before the middle part where they have more ads. And then it's just crazy. You're sitting there watching. It feels like you barely see anything. All you're watching is ads, and it's all the same ad, and it's the ad for Crunchyroll membership.
Oh. That's cute. Hulu does something similar, though, because their ads are pretty, intrusive, too. Yeah. At least I think it's Hulu or whatever, because I was using my friend's 360, and I was, watching anime on there, and then all of a sudden it just, cut to commercial just randomly, and it was, 4 minutes of the commercial. I'm like, what's happening right now? What's going on? So it's just, it's just in your face, and it's like I don't like this. I don't like this at all. So it's kind of.
Except Hulu is worse because you pay for it, and then they
still give and they still do it.
Crunchyroll is like night and day. When you're watching for free, it's like, oh my gosh, this is what you put up with. And then when you finally see it, with the subscription, it's like, oh wow, I'm actually watching at a decent pace. And yeah, there's still a lot of annoying sort of filler stuff, and previously on Naruto, and then all this, and it's just like, still, you're seeing so much more of what you actually want to see. Yeah, it's crazy.
Would it be awesome if they were showing Japanese TV ads?
That would be neat.
That would be interesting. See what kind of fun products they're advertising in some weird way. It's like, all this to sell a cantaloupe? What the hell?
Beer vending machine.
Or panty machines.
And then there's that. Welcome to the podcast, Gamer.
Hey man, those exist. I am not shitting you.
Those are real, yeah.
I know. It's crazy.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, so Crunchyroll, if you want to watch, I don't know if, see, for me, it doesn't make sense, because I'm only watching that one series right now, and it doesn't make sense for me to pay, I think it's $7 a month, just to see the new episode immediately after it airs in Japan. Because it's like, well, I don't even know when it airs in Japan.
It's true.
Every time I go on and there's a new episode, for all I know, it could be the day after it aired in Japan.
Yeah,
and now that I've seen everything.
Well, I mean, I usually just stream them online anyway, but when I've seen you guys, or I've seen you and somebody else mention Crunchyroll before, and I went on to try it, and it was free samples of stuff, and then I was like, oh wait, is this a subscription based thing? Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's not good. So I don't know.
That's the thing I'm annoyed by is when I go to apps and I don't know if it's for free or if it's a subscription service, and I go to it and it's like, oh, you have to go to this website, and I go to the website and it's like, oh, it's a subscription service. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, Crunchyroll. Wow, I totally forgot what I was going to say. Oh no, and I remember. It kind of sucks. The PS3 app has just samples. When you go on the website or on the tablet application, you can actually watch everything except for the newest episodes, which are subscribers. There are all the ads and stuff, but you can watch them, and I think it's the only legal way beyond buying DVDs that I know of.
I never went to the Crunchyroll website, so I'd have to go there to see if my ad blocker works on it. That would be cool.
That might be cool.
Because I have that same problem with Hulu where it's I can't use it with my ad blocker on. It'll be like, yeah, you're going to turn that off, Tekken, and turn it off. And it's Dove chocolate every not every 5 minutes, but 5 minutes of Dove chocolate and then 30 minutes of video and then 5 minutes of Dove chocolate and then more video, so yeah.
That's so weird. You only get Dove chocolate ads?
Well, I get the thing where it's the same thing.
Seriously.
Eating.
Sometimes I get video game ads, and I'm like, oh, okay.
It's because he's always talking about dangerous box of chocolates. So well, here's Dove chocolates. They're kind of dangerous and chocolatey.
So that was our first aside. My first aside in many weeks. That
You're
was
welcome.
fun.
Actually, I have another aside real quick. Just like take it back to what we talked about last week with like the whole reboot as prequels. Like, I basically those are disqualified. Like to me, it's like okay, here's the analogy I'm gonna make. So it's like a reboot as a prequel is like I'm writing a whole completely new book with like new binding, new paper, whatever. A prequel itself that is like completely separate from the reboot prequel is like I'm gonna put some papers in here at the beginning that are gonna be like okay, this part happens before this part, and it actually ties into the current existing franchise, whatever. But a reboot is just like, oh, we're gonna completely do whatever we want. That's completely
I
different.
don't know, because I mean, I think you only
this interpretation of it.
I think you only see it like that though, is because we're so used to having prequels happen after the main series and stuff is already done. But I mean, reboots technically are prequels to a series. They just may not be prequels to the main series that you've already seen. But I mean, they're still like the first game of a, or well, if they're successful enough to continue, it's like they're still prequels to whatever's to come next. They're not just starting in the middle of something.
I'm just saying, like, if you look at, like, Battlestar Galactica, where it's like you have the old 80s or 70s or whatever the hell that was version, and, like, Starbucks a dude, and then you have, like, the most modern version where it's like Starbucks not a dude. It's like, that is, like, a reboot prequel, or it's like, well, I guess there's the stuff before that, like Capricorn or whatever, but it's like...
No, wasn't Bioshock Galactica, the new one, a continuation of the old series? I thought it was.
I have no idea. I don't watch either.
So
I don't think so, Gamer.
yeah.
Because they kept on referring back to the past, and I was like, oh, that's weird.
Or you
No,
could be
because
like the new
They were
Star Trek.
No, because they were talking about, oh, here's the old design. Remember the old design robots, whatever, the one, the red laser or whatever?
Yeah.
And like, oh, they evolved into this new thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I brought up the Star Trek thing last week, too.
Is someone scrolling and
I'm
looking
not.
it up?
Can you hear that? Jesus.
Yes, it's loud.
Yeah, same with, like, Star Trek, where it's like,
Star Trek is a reboot.
Spock
Star
was
Trek is a weird
getting
one.
with
Whereas
Spock was
they-
getting with Aurora, and then like in the older one,
Take it-
that's not the rebooted
It's
one.
an alternate
Not-
time.
Yeah.
Nerds.
that
No, because
happens,
it's
a
supposed.
sequel
Yeah,
that happens in the past.
exactly. Yeah, it's like it's supposed to happen, but because they deviated, it's a different time line.
Strange stuff.
I'd like to point out I've never seen any of these shows, so I have no idea what's going on right now. Yeah. I'm just gonna nod.
So would anybody like to bring up anything else before we get into what you've been playing 13 minutes into recording?
Tell Tekken he's wrong.
Just went to the reboot Final Fantasy RPG from the beginning. And it's like
Well,
they
they can't do that because the series isn't. They're all a bunch of.
they get around to whatever
stories.
the favorite one yours is, and then they completely change it and stuff.
And RPG man, we're like the happiest people in the world because like something will happen now finally.
Oh yeah, because Wada's gone.
They crash and burn, man. They crash and burn.
Well,
That's Japan side.
what were they expecting to happen? When
People
there's
finally get Bravely Default localization. Oh my god, it's gonna be fantastic.
got the game
I guess we better sell some games.
It's like, oh, you think? Maybe that might be a way to make money instead of.
But isn't it crazy though? They think that the 3.5 whatever million is like not even successful. I'm like, are you kidding me?
You have to keep
That's
in mind
bullshit.
some of their
That's, like,
other
unbelievable.
games sold like twice that easily. So
I don't think companies can even think like that anymore. Man, that's crazy. 3.5 million is not considered a success.
is it a multi-platform game for that one? Because that could be it too. I don't know. Cause like I said, some of they're probably used to selling like Final Fantasy games, selling like 7 million copies on just one platform, and now it's like, well, now our games are only selling 3 million on 2 or 3 platforms, so something's wrong here. But maybe if you stop remaking Final Fantasy 4 every fucking year, you wouldn't have this problem, would you? So there's that.
Crazy.
So, who wants to go first and what you've been playing?
You do. Good job.
Alrighty. So yeah, besides Dragon Quest 6, which I'm not even going to talk about, after that game, I'm just not feeling it Dragon Quest 6 right now. I'm sick and tired of being stuck. I just want to get to the next part of the game. Because, that's that game. I played, oh man, funny story. I don't care, I'm going to tell it. So, Monday, I'm like messaging Aimless, Aimless operatives. I'm like, Aimless is symbol. I think it's... I'm thinking it's Tuesday. And then like it's not Tuesday, it's Monday, but I send it thinking it's Tuesday, and I don't get a response back that's like someone correcting me. So I'm like, oh, okay, Tekken, you must be completely in your sane mind. Lo and behold, it's actually Monday. I think it's Tuesday, so I think it's my day off of work. So I don't go into work, and I just stay home and play video games.
You're supposed to be at work.
So that was really embarrassing. After I found out at like 2 in the morning, I look at my watch and it's like, but Tuesday was yesterday. No. So yeah, I stayed home and played some X-Men arcade game with strangers online. That was fun.
He has no concept of stranger danger.
And then continuing the Marvel trading, so I was just like having a comic book themed game day from work. Yeah. Anyway, so I played some of that. I played some Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and then I played some Ultimate Spider-Man. So yeah, that's basically all I've been playing.
You played.
I was playing when I
happened on the day you were supposed to be at work.
Yep.
Fun. It was funny. I did notice that, but I was like, whatever.
Way to go, Tropical.
Wow.
Good job, team.
The ramifications.
It's so funny because like I had these like I kind of like after that happened, I had this like breakdown. I had this like moment of like I felt like I was in a movie. I was like having all these like thinking back of like throughout the day, like things that like were not right that like should have tipped me off. Was like when I looked in the refrigerator and like I had extra yogurt when I usually only have enough yogurt to last me until Tuesday. I'm like, oh, I have extra yogurt, and I just go and eat it. And I'm like, oh, don't even think about it. I'm just like, yeah, yogurt. Just, yeah.
It's funny because he kept telling me all these signs that were pointing to the fact that he was supposed to have been at work on Monday, and I was like, so none of these things clued you in to the fact that you were missing work? So, way to go, Tekken. Screw that.
Have no regrets. It was worth it.
Until he loses his job. He'll regret everything.
Funny, I wasn't even playing good games. I was playing. It's
great. It's like I got in trouble for this.
Yes. Oh, hilarious. Well, I've been around for a while, but I don't think I've played that many things as far as variety. Sim City was the first thing I picked up, despite all the hate for it. It was actually running pretty well by the weekend after it released, which kind of sucked because the only games I was interested in March were all within that 2-week period. So by the time SimCity was finally working, I had also gotten StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm and God of War Ascension. But yeah, it's all working now pretty well. It's hard to say. There's some weird glitches in the game. I'm not really sure if they're glitches or I'm just not interpreting the system. So occasionally I'll have a building and it'll show that it's full of kids. And the people in the building will be saying, hey, we want our kids to be able to go to school. Like, oh, sure. So, I put a bus stop in front of their building and then I wait for their kids to go to school. And like days, months in the game passed, and they just keep saying, we get schools or we move out. And like, I don't understand what's going on.
Did you actually build a school? Or
yeah,
you just gave them a bus stop? Cause...
The school system was all there already, and then I put a bus stop there.
I was about to say, it's like you just gave them a bus to nowhere.
Right. So like, everyone in the city is going to school, except for this one building that just 50 kids inside refused to come out and go to the bus stop. And at one point, like, I was just, I don't really plan where I put my bus stops. I just sort of, one on that street, and I just look at the area that's highlighted. It's like, okay, it covers all the streets, so it should be fine. Mm-hmm. And, at this point, I was getting kind of annoyed. I don't know if I had realized that there was already a bus stop there, but I put another bus stop. So there were 2 bus stops outside this one building, and they just refused to leave. And I'm like, what is happening?
Set it on fire, Tropical. Set it on fire.
I bulldozed it.
There you go.
I'm not sure how the game handles it. I'm pretty sure, it allows them to leave and they get eviction notices or whatever.
Whatever helps you sleep at night, Tropical.
50 kids! And their families! Hopefully that did not happen.
Yeah, it did.
But, yeah, otherwise...
Emma.
For... What would that be?
The real reason why people play SimCity.
It's true.
Math simulator. On a math skill.
The game is really fun. I was in the betas, and the betas were limited to 1 hour. So basically you had an hour from the start of a city, so it's just, flat, open land, and then you could build for an hour, and then the game would just cut off and say, thank you for playing SimCity Beta, come pre-order. And, in the developer blogs, they talked about it where it's like, yeah, it sort of, because of the 1 hour time limit, it had created sort of a new style of playing SimCity where people were playing it almost like StarCraft, and they were just trying to build it as quickly as possible to get as far in the game as they could. And in the beta, I got to a point where you could tell where you were gonna you would run into problems because, like, in the beta, not all of the buildings were available. So you would have things like you can't build a sewage treatment plant. You can only build these sewage outlets. So, sewage is just dumped out into the ground somewhere. And it's like,
safe.
Yeah, if the game continues like this, there's just no way you can handle it. And so when I finally got the full version, I'm finding the game is not as fun as the beta was. The beta was very carefree because, after an hour, it's just all gone, and then you start over again. And it's just like you have this continuous, the thrill of just building that city, and you never had to worry about any problems and stuff.
Oh, yes, about maintaining it, right?
Yeah, like the full version is so stressful. I've built a city now in one of Joe's regions.
You.
So, yes, Tiger Fox is still alive out there.
That he is.
And,
for now.
Yes, for
Oh,
now.
my.
And initially, I built it as a mining city, so there was like one ore mining plant, and I figured,
The 1950s?
well, you still people still mine ore.
I
today.
know, I'm kidding.
So, to make that matter, I built a trading depot so they could ship the ore to the trading stop, and then I would export it out and make money that way. And, it was going fine for a while. And then, one of the things in SimCity is, like, eventually that ore is going to run out. And you got to make plans for that. And so my plan was eventually the city would just sort of become like a tourist spot. Like the old ore mining plant is here, and then we build these other tourist attractions around it, and it'll all be good. Well, this city has been, and this is a great game if you have a young kid, by the way, who doesn't really play or interact with you yet. Just She's too young.
To be fair, she's only a few months old.
She sleeps mostly. Or she sleeps and eats, and you can't really leave her alone for any of them. Anyway.
No, you cannot.
This is a great game because, like, for me right now, because often I can just leave it running, and the city builds up itself after you've zoned everything. It just builds itself. It was like that for maybe 2 days. Now, on the third day, I had serious budget issues. I'm losing something like 20,000 simoleons per hour.
Oh my god!
Because I just have too many services. My school system is incredible. I have lots of water pumping facilities and sewage treatment, and the power plant. I have this giant solar farm, and it's just like, wow, everything's going great, except that
that's your
we
problem.
aren't making money. we are hemorrhaging money so fast.
Well, all you have to do is just cut the fundings at the schools like the government does, and, put it in other places, like the amusement parks.
That's what happened. It's been open for a day now. A day real time, which is, I don't know, several months in the game. I found out that you can actually make money by selling recyclables. So once your city gets educated, everyone starts recycling instead of generating garbage. But and then I found out, like, the recycling plant, you can actually extract, precious metals and plastics and stuff, and then sell those to other places. And, that's really cool. So I was making a fairly large amount of money selling alloys that we're recovering from garbage. And it was really cool. But then at some point, it stopped paying off. And I just, the city grew too fast for that type of income. And it got to a point where I had zero money, and the game just stops, and it says, you have no money. What are you going to do? And it says you can turn off buildings, you can raise taxes, you can pass a bond measure, or you can start a new city. And at this point, I was like, I guess I'll get a loan, so pass a bond measure, and then it starts up again. And I was sitting there just, like, watching my money diminish, and I was like, okay, what do I do? And so I looked through all the specializations, and I found the Expo Center. And this is a building in the tourism specialty, where you just put it there, and you can run events inside. And depending on how many Sims go to the event, you make a certain amount after the event is complete. And unfortunately, you have to pay up front to set up the event. So I'm sitting there, and I was like, oh, man. Okay, if I don't do it now, I can't build the building because I won't have enough money. So I built the building, and I went in, and that's where I found out, I have to pay for the event. So I had to pass another bond measure. I was like, all right, here we go. This is literally Save the City rock concert. If this does not happen, the city is bankrupt, and I'm leaving. And so I set it up. And it's like, okay, the event starts at 8 p.m. And I look down, and it's like 2 a.m. It's like, oh my gosh, the city needs enough money to survive for the next, 18 hours. And I'm losing $20,000 per hour, and I'm borrowing money. And finally, I got there, and the event was a success. And I was like, wow, I have money. So now I have to do an event every in-game day in order to keep the city alive.
Now you're America.
And I was sitting there, I was like, this is crazy. This is not the relaxing game I bought.
So wait, so does the game, or whenever you log off or whatever, does it still continue kind of thing, or?
It doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So, the only way to make money is to keep the game running. I think that's the only reason. Like right now, Joe he invited someone else to the region. So he has 5 cities, and the other guy has 2 cities, and I just have the 1 city. But I have half of the region's population, and at some point I had more than half of the entire region's wealth. And I think it's just because my city has been running the longest, even though it's the youngest of the cities. But it was crazy. There's really fun stuff in it too. There's they got zombies into the game. That's one of the disasters that can happen.
Why would there be?
I visited another city. The other guy named it Woodbury. That place is a disaster zone.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I would assume so.
It was funny. I visited his city, and I looked at it, and there was a large, 70% of the ground is black. And I was like, is this a lighting glitch or a shadow glitch? What's going on here? And I zoomed in, and it's like, there's actually a little, you can see the blades of grass and stuff. There's just nothing here. It's just all black. and I went through all the different data maps, and the one that had it was nuclear radiation. And just that entire area was irradiated. I was like, this is like Chernobyl.
So does that city impact yours? Like him being it all messed up, does it like have any impact on your city?
Not directly.
Oh.
So it's weird. Like originally, I thought, like in the beta, I'd only seen 3 city regions, and the one that I'm playing right now is a 16 city region. So I thought, oh, that's really cool because then you got 16, potentially 16 different players, and all the cities affect each other. So like if you don't have any low wealth workers will actually come in from other cities.
Oh.
And, you can trade with the other cities, so you can send resources to each other, and you can send your fire trucks or your police officers and stuff like that. And you can all cooperate. But then I found out, I was like, oh, you actually have to have roads between the cities. And not all the cities in the 16 cities scenario are connected.
Oh.
So actually only it's like 4 groups of 4. So essentially, like Joe has his own region. This other guy has two spots, and then Joe has the third one, and then I just have one spot in a totally, mostly unrelated region. I found out actually I could build ferries, and then there is a river that connects me to Joe's region or his like 4 cities. But as far as like sending electricity and stuff like that, I can't do it because there's no roads between us. So the nuclear wasteland that is Woodbury is not connected.
You probably don't want to connect to that city anyway.
So there is... Oh, wait, go ahead.
Yeah, I clicked on the... I think it was the nuclear power plant, and it says the public demands that more skilled workers work here, because it's just like all low-skilled people, and you actually have to train your Sims with schools and stuff before they can do high-tech stuff. Otherwise,
get Chernobyl.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Wow, more math.
So I'm wondering, Tropical, did all your time with SimCity Social at all help with the new SimCity game?
Nope. It was worthless. In fact, it's funny. SimCity Social, I have played far less now that there's a real SimCity out.
Well, I mean, that makes sense, kind of.
Yeah, it's just not as fun.
You don't say. Macaroni.
I wouldn't play it. It runs like super slow now.
SimCity Social?
Yeah, it just runs so slow with everything maxed out. So I was like, screw this.
Crazy because they have, you have so many buildings, and then they have these promotional things that are animated and moving around your city. And it's like, come on, this is Flash. You can't be doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
So, it's funny. I was thinking about it the other day. SimCity Social would not be as interesting if you didn't have to do all the friend stuff. Because, like, if there were no friends things and, it didn't have energy and all these things, it would be pretty easy to play through SimCity Social. And it just wouldn't... I think it's because it has this weird friction where you have to bug your pals that when you finally do get those things, it feels like an accomplishment. Whereas without those things, it would just be like, why am I even playing this? But I think people have yet to find the balance as far as that design philosophy, because I think there's too much friction. So it's just now that I have one that doesn't have it, and it has different types of limits built into it, the real SimCity is just much more compelling. Although now I have to micromanage everything, so it's like, this is very stressful and so tense.
It's like my city's burning. Save it.
But yeah, no. Besides that, StarCraft 2: Heart of the Swarm is the single player. It was really weird. I found myself wanting StarCraft 2 for the single player and God of War Ascension for the multiplayer. Usually it'd be the other way around. But Heart of the Swarm single player is really fun because you get to play with a ton of Zerg units that aren't available in the multiplayer just because they would be completely unbalanced. For example, the Ultralisk, which is this giant 4-bladed elephant tank-like bug.
That seems unnecessary.
In the single player, you can get it to where it burrows underground and it rushes underground and pops up under enemies. And when it does that, it stuns them. And then, this thing can kill like 4 Marines in one hit. So it's just like, it's really powerful. And it's super powerful in the campaign. It does that, and then you can also get this other skill where every time it dies, it goes into a cocoon, and then it busts out alive again. Immortal bullets that charge you underground where you can't shoot them.
That's a terrifying thought. If bugs could actually do things like that.
But so awesome. So yeah, the campaign, story-wise, it's okay. But yeah, getting to play with all the weird Zerg units that couldn't make it into multiplayer because they're unbalanced, it was like, wow, this is so fun. And then Ascension, I've barely played through the single player, but the multiplayer, I really like it. I saw a lot of reviews saying it's very simplistic or it doesn't have the depth to last very long.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll describe it. At the basics, it's sort of rock, paper, scissors. Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yes, that would be the name of the game.
So
unless it's rock, paper, scissors, baby, whatchamacallit.
Isn't it like Lizard
Hadouken.
Spock or something? I don't know. Add so many random things to that. Just like, what?
I guess it depends on your fiction. Yeah, so you have a quick attack, which can be countered by a block. But you can break a block with a strong attack. So you have this sort of triangle there of power. But then it branches out from that, whereas the quick attack, if you just, tap the square button 3 times, it does, sort of a quick combo, and you can block all of those. But if a person, what game does that? I guess Devil May Cry has a combo system where if you vary the rhythm at which you tap the button, it does different moves.
Yeah, DMC
So
does that.
Is it DMC?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you do things like that, some of those moves will actually break through blocks. So it works kind of like a strong attack. So the way to avoid strong attacks is to dodge them. But when you dodge, you're susceptible to grabs. Then there's magic, which seems to break everything.
Well, it's magic, so...
Then you have items, which are they operate on a cooldown, but then you're able to use them to break out of combos. So if you didn't block that first quick attack, you can break out of the combo that they're inevitably going to hit you with.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just, if you look at how many different counters and different scenarios that could arrive out of those few pieces, does that seem not deep enough?
I mean, I guess they mean, is it like, because are there like a bunch of different modes, maybe, is what they were? Maybe that's the complaint, if there's not enough mode variety or something. Because is it like just deathmatch or something, or?
No. So the game has basically what you would consider deathmatch. Then it has something that is like domination.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has something like capture the flag.
But there are no flags.
Yeah, I guess there aren't that many modes. There aren't that many modes.
Maybe that's what they meant.
Maybe. So, I don't know. I have been having so much fun with it. The mode that I've been playing the most is something called Team Favor of the Gods, which is basically domination. But it's 4-on-4. so combat doesn't get too crazy. But what I really like is like all the maps have different traps and stuff that you can set. So, for example, the one in the beta had like fire that shoots out of the ground when you pull a switch, and you could pull the switch two ways. You could just tap the button and then pull it, and then the fire would come out immediately. Or you could hold down the button, and then the fire would wait for someone to come, like an enemy to walk over it, and then it would start burning that guy alive.
Oh. That doesn't sound violent at all.
It's God of War.
Well, I mean, I guess, but still.
Man, it's so awesome. And just like the pace, it's very quick. It just, yeah, we've gotten very good at multiplayer design, I think. It has that sort of Call of Duty feel where you play through a match and it's like, wow, that didn't feel like it took any time. I can play another. I can play another. I can play another. Pretty soon, I've played 8 hours. It's so good. Gamer, have you tried it?
Yeah. I've only tried co-op though. I find that mode is broken as shit. Rather than let's survive, but they put this timer that's just so annoying. Because me and this other guy were like ripping dudes up and like, oh, time's over, we lost. I'm like, what? So it's like it's not balanced towards lower level players, rather it's balanced towards higher level. So it's like, oh man, that sucks.
Higher level as in skill, or as in they've like leveled
as in up? You have to do more damage faster. You have to because it's not really trying to survive, because you could survive any two guys could survive, but it's like how long? But it's like since it's based on the timer and like how fast you can get kills, it's based on how much damage you can do, and like how based on like your magics and items, how much damage you can deal out as quickly as possible, rather than can you just survive this the amount of enemies that are coming on screen.
Okay.
That's still fun.
Man. Yeah, you should check out the competitive. It's so... I think only people who like it are actually playing it, so there's not a whole bunch of people liking Call of Duty where just everyone's playing, this game is broken, and yet for some reason they continue to play. So it feels very positive, even though everyone is ripping each other apart. I don't know. I need more time with it. I'm probably doing a video of that one. I've been wanting to record it, so... But yeah, the levels are all very inventive. They only showed that one with the big Titan, but the other ones, like one of them, you get to control a Gorgon after you've done all the stuff, and then you're just like this giant Gorgon statue in the middle of the arena, and you look around and you hold down circle to charge up your stone stare, and then every time someone comes by, you blast them and they turn to stone and die.
Well, that's not very nice.
So awesome. Then there's one of them actually gives you the single player skill where you can you can decay objects in the environment. And I didn't know, because it was my first match there, and I was running across this bridge, and I ran into an enemy. I was like, oh man, you're gonna die, and then he just like decayed the bridge, and it was gone. I was like, what was that?
It's like it was magic is what it was.
It was crazy, but so fun. So awesome. Finally, I guess I went out and got the the Pulse Elite, the PS3 headset.
Yeah. Yes.
Holy cow, that one is so much better than the first headset that they released.
Yeah, damn straight. Yeah.
Doesn't feel plasticky, doesn't sound plasticky. It just feels so much more sturdy. God. But it's crazy. There's so many buttons on the two earphones. I was sitting there, I was like, how do I turn on my mic? What's this button here? And I'm just like pushing everything, and like the mode button doesn't respond immediately. You have to sort of hold it a little, or you have to wait for it to switch modes before you can push it again. So I'm just pushing. It's like, okay, that one doesn't do anything. What's this? Is this a slider? But mainly, I want to see the Bioshock Infinite custom sound mode that they had added. So it's like Bioshock Infinite apparently supports this headset natively. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Did not get to try it.
Oh.
One, I didn't buy Bioshock, but I thought that there was a full game trial. So like, okay, I'll play the first hour of Bioshock.
There
Oh,
is.
dude. I'm totally playing that.
It is.
You get in an hour.
It is a very man. I don't think Bioshock is suited for the 1 hour trial though, because I was, Gamer, you've played the beginning, right?
Yeah.
It's all idyllic, and there's lots of people, and I just wanted to stand around and listen to what they had to say.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'm on the clock. Oh, okay, I'm just gonna go, and I just went. I made the mistake of playing it the first time with Move.
Oh, is that a bad thing?
It was very confusing, especially because I was very rushed. I was like, oh man, I have to go, and then when the combat starts, the first thing they ask you to do is melee, and apparently melee in the game is a jab with the controller, which works fine in Killzone, but the on-screen indicator, like when the on-screen prompt, just had this big left arrow. It was like a big arrow that pointed to the left, and I was like, this to melee, and I was like, what's
like,
that?
what?
I don't know what that is. Like, do I
Press
swing to the left? I swung to, like the first thing I did was like push left on the analog stick. Like, that's not gonna do anything. So I swung this, my move to the left, and then like it put Booker into a spin. I was like, I don't know what's going on. And then at this point, I think I missed like a lot of the flavor in the beginning because I was running through, and I didn't know what was going on, and for some reason everyone's out to kill me. And then, you get to a point where the game tells you, it's like, oh, not every encounter has to, turn into a gunfight. And I was like, oh. So I started not shooting people when I had to jump on them. I would just, like, walk up to them, and then they turn around, like, and then they try to kill me.
So
who are you? I don't even know you.
So it's all lies.
Yeah, and I'm trying to melee, and I didn't know what the prompt was, so I kept doing the left swing, which sometimes would work, but then it would put me into a spin anyway. I was like...
Well, supposedly you're supposed to jab and twist, and that will activate the melee.
What are you, like,
is that what it is?
Twisting a knife kind of thing? Just like,
yeah, like twisting a knife.
Twist that knife.
Oh. It was ridiculous. It was crazy.
So it seems kind of like it feels like a bit of bullshit when they talked about the move support for this game. It's like, oh, we're gonna do something different, and it's basically nothing. That's a shame.
I mean, thinking back after I tried it, he only said that he didn't want to do sort of the gimmicky stuff, which is true. Like, the gimmicky stuff really isn't in there. There's just the jab thing. But other than that, it's just a cursor, and it's like Killzone. Or not like Killzone. It's just a cursor. It's like a Wii shooter. So it works fine. But some of the buttons are weird. Like, they have X as reload and square as switch weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kept switching weapons every time I wanted to reload. And so it was very disorientating, and only had an hour to play it, and didn't get to try the headset on it. So someday when I get to finish games again.
Oh. Sorry.
Other than that, the headset. Oh, so that bass impact thing, which you said was stupid way back in the day, is yeah. I don't think it's thoughtful enough. It seemed to work fine in Gran Turismo. So like if you don't know what this is, like apparently the headset has kind of like rumble motors, I guess, and it reacts to bass. So in Gran Turismo, when you run into a wall or something, the impact sounds more impactful because the headset actually rumbles.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
It feels a lot like like, do you remember walking through arcades? When
when those were still a thing.
That's what it sounds like.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like just like the boom of these giant gaming machines, and it's just like, oh, it's kind of cool. But then I tried it in Killzone multiplayer, and it just didn't know when the appropriate times to engage were. So it would just be like the whole time it was rumbling. And then, some guy who came on and he had a particularly bass voice, and it just like rumbled every time he talked.
That is great.
I am Thor.
It's like, I'm sorry, sir, but could you please just stop talking? Because it's like you're really messing up my headset right now. So.
It was messed up. I'm like, I wish I had seen it in Bioshock, because Bioshock has it, specifically. And so they probably, looked at, say, okay, when it's above this amount, that's when you do the rumble. Sad. Other than that, yeah, headset is way better than the first one. Just in build. The big thing for me, you remember how the first one, if I plugged it in directly to my PS3 and I turned on the headset, it would knock the PS3 off my wireless network?
Yeah,
On particularly bad occasions, it would knock everything off the wireless network. This one does not do that at all. So that's a major plus. Good stuff. I think that's all I've been playing.
I just remembered two things I've been playing. One was Defiance. I played the beta of that. It's okay. It was weird though, because it was like I haven't beta tested anything in a long time because I just don't really care about them. Usually,
you're not tropical. That's why.
This one I wanted to check out just because I was interested in like the whole like quasi MMO with like third person and like open world, a bunch of people. It seems pretty cool and like execution. Like it seems like it could work. But then like while playing it, I just kept thinking about Destiny. I was like, I'd rather play that in a couple of months, so I think I'll just wait. And then it was weird because like, I got to like this one point in the beta where like there's this cutscene, and it was like super beta-y where there's like no sound, and there were like subtitles for like the sound effects, but it was like in code, so it was like something / sound here / I was like, whoa, this is not done yet. And then it didn't like cue the next part of the mission, so it was. I don't know. It seems like it'll be fun when it's like cheap to play though, so I won't rush out and buy it at $60. But maybe if it does like cool stuff between that and the show, I might check it out. But since I don't have cable anyway,
the show doesn't look all that interesting. No.
I don't know. I've always liked sci-fi stuff, so. Oh. And I need something to fill my hole in my heart from Shepard Saga being over. So.
I'm sorry.
Still sad about that. Oh, and then Mass Effect 3, of course, with the RPG and Gamer. That was fun. So yeah.
If by fun you mean you guys are just terrible, then yes. Yes, it was.
I'm down on an aimless Mass Effect? Aww.
You did. Wait, you have Mass Effect 3?
Yeah, I've only been playing the multiplayer.
Embarrassing, because that's pretty much the only reason why I bought it. So, yeah, that happened. Way to go, Tropical. Way to miss out. This is why I told you to get the baby harness. But you never listened.
Man, I've just been itching to set up game nights, and because there's, All Stars would be so fun with a bunch of friends, or the God of War Ascension thing. I don't think many people have it, but yeah, the multiplayer 4 people. Oh man, it would be so cool if I could coordinate with people. People don't coordinate in random games, as you all know.
Oh, don't I know it?
We still seem to do fine, but yeah, I want to see what it would be like with a coordinated team.
Yeah, because I was actually telling Tekken about that when I was playing like the Mass Effect 3 thing, and anytime I like play with random people, it's like you'll get some where people will be like, okay, we can split off into teams of 2, or you'll have like the team sticking together, but then there'll always be that one team where it's like as soon as we get on the map, everybody just scatters like roaches, and now we're like, okay, so every man for himself, I guess.
We're gonna surround them, even though they're coming from the outside.
Yeah, it just, and then we last for like all of one wave, and like well, good job, team. Would screw us over. So, yeah, it always works better when you have people to work with, and I don't know. That's why I don't usually like playing multiplayer in general, because I don't like random people, because they suck. So, there's that. But yeah.
Alright, well, I guess we'll come back after this with Gamer and RPG because we're at like 55 minutes, so we'll be back after this with the rest of what you've been playing. So yeah, what you've been playing? RPG Gamer, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Valkyria Chronicles 2, and just working my way through that. I think I'm like a few months away from the end of the game now, so, well, I should be finished soon enough for whatever's. I've been playing a lot of PlayStation All-Stars. I went on to, because I remember they were adding, like, the DLC or whatever, but then it turns out they were charging for it, so that...
Yeah, that sucks.
So that didn't get bought.
It was free with Ascension buyers, yes.
So yeah, actually I do have them, but it sucks that each character is $5.
Yeah, because
I know, right?
I was like, okay, maybe a character's cheap, I can buy them, but then it's like they're $5 a piece. I was like, why the hell? And I mean, since it's Isaac and Zeus, I was like, I'm probably not gonna play with them anyway, so it wouldn't really matter. But I don't know. I just kind of. Yeah. But
they were selling the stage, but you could still play in it, right?
You can still.
Yeah.
You can still play. You can still play against people who have it, and you can still play the stage or whatever. So it's not, I mean, that big of a loss. Isaac kind of plays strangely because he's like a mid-range to melee fighter, even though he uses like his guns and stuff. So it was strange when I went up because like since I didn't have the DLC, I didn't like know the movesets for either of the new characters. So when I was like going up against him, I was kind of like, okay, maybe he's gonna be one of those Arsenal characters and just have to just play keep away with him or whatever. But it's like, yeah, he is a lot of his stuff is all melee and mid range. So it's like if anything, it's like I don't know, it's weird. It's weird to fight him because. It is strange. He also has this, although he does have this one gun that, I don't know if it's like a gun in the game or something, but it does this thing where it like shoots this ball around and it like bounces across the stage all over the place. And I was like, I don't remember ever seeing this in a Dead Space game. So I think they made this up. And but it's possible that it could be one of the new ones in 3 or something. I don't know, but it's strange. But Zeus. He's just as cheap as Kratos, seriously. And it's like he has like this
Zeus is awesome.
He's just a pain. Because trying to play against him when he's all like, because he has like these random lightning attacks, but he has like this one where it just pretty much cancels out any of the characters that I use, like any of their moves or whatever. So trying to get into melee range of him is just such a pain in the ass. So I have to do a lot of like back attacks when I fight anybody that's playing as Zeus because he has that like short range lightning attack that like, hit you for like multiple hits or whatever. It's annoying as hell. His level 3 super is kind of cool though because it's like the boss battle I think is in 2 where you fight him and he's gigantic or whatever. So like you get there like his level 3 supers like that. So whoever's controlling him gets to do like his little ground pound and all that stuff. So that's kind of cool. I mean, not when you're playing against him, but when you're on his team, it's awesome. But playing against him, it's like son of a bitch. Now I have to run around this damn stage until that timer runs out. So there's that. But it's like you can always tell because like I think like when I'm playing online, like people tend to like I guess gravitate towards the same string of characters. So you're usually like playing against like the same characters all the time because I've never seen anybody playing with like Sackboy or Sir Daniel like online whatever. So it's always. I haven't run. Everybody I play against is either Kratos. Now it's Isaac and Zeus because they were just added. So, and or Good Cole. So it's like I always it's like that's always the same thing. And then anybody that's like on my team, whenever I do like 2 versus 2, is always playing with like random characters, like that cat thing that I don't know where he's from, and like I'm like who are these people? Like what's going on here? Like everybody else is playing with normal people, and I always get teamed up with the people playing with strange characters. I'm like, what is this? What is happening right now? But there are some people that are good with them though, so I mean I guess it's okay. But I usually see like the same crop, and then once in a while you'll get like a Ratchet and a Naruko, I think her name is, the Heavenly Sword chick. Her. So.
Wait, so who do you use?
Well, I usually use either Psyche or Dante, and now Cat because I think add that. So. But yeah.
My brother and I, we did a Sackboy combo, 2 Sackboys. You can be super annoying. There's just cake and shock pads everywhere.
Yeah, I tried using them today when I was playing. I was like, you know what? I never see anybody using Sackboy. Let me try to use Sackboy, and that didn't go as well as planned. So, yeah, because I was like, because I completely forgot what his moveset was or anything. So, I was just like, okay, so now I'm gonna have to try to figure out what his moves are while, in the middle of a fight. It's okay. Can totally do that. So I'm just like dropping shock pads and those return doors everywhere. I was like, this is not helping me. This is not helping me at all. So that went well. About as well as to be expected. So needless to say, won't be using Sackboy anymore. So yeah. I don't know. But yeah. I don't know. I guess some people just like to play with the cheaper characters because, like, those and like Big Daddy, they have like attacks that can cancel out of other people's attacks or cancel out other people's attacks. So a lot of times when you play against them, people like to spam the same moves, and it's like, I see where this fight is going. So yeah, wonderful. So yeah, that happened. Other than that, just played like Mass Effect with Tekken and Gamer, and Gamer's not really good at the game for somebody who had it so much longer than me, and you should probably work on that.
No, seriously, I don't know. They buffed the.
I don't know, Gamer.
Silver. I swear to God, they buffed Silver.
I feel like there's no excuse for this because Tekken's like, why don't you just stay with Gamer? I was like, you mean the guy that's dying more than I am right now? Yeah, that's a real good idea because I don't know. It's like that. Although the collectors are just, I really just don't like them. They're just like the worst enemy spawn thingies ever. So
weren't they the ones we fought when we were all vanguards? And like me and RPG were both sorry.
Gamer was.
We were embracing eternity.
I was like, what the hell are you guys doing?
In my defense, I had already chose the Vanguard at that point. Tekken was just.
And we had on random, so we didn't know who we were going to fight.
That too. So.
It's like the first wave, both of them are dead. Or both of them are down. I'm like, oh, come on, give me.
You did not die, for sure.
You didn't die, but you were downed for sure.
Sure. It was all Tekken's fault. Mm-hmm. I had already chosen the Vanguard, and he was like, "Oh, you have one."
It wouldn't be a problem. It was just those goddamn scions, man. God, annoying as shit. Those things.
I just don't.
They're hard to kill. They do a lot of damage. God, terrible.
And the secret swarms, they mess up your cooldown times.
Oh, is that what they do?
Yeah, they're not as bad.
But if you're a Vanguard, you need to charge so you can use your shields back. And if you can't charge, you're kind of screwed.
Oh, that's true. Although I like the Cabal though for the.
Oh man, really?
I do. I enjoyed their playstyle. It's kind of fun. Although I still don't believe Tekken when he says they're female because they don't look women. I don't know. So I just edited her armor, so now it's pink. So now I know she's a girl. Turians do not really show any secondary sexual characteristics, so yeah.
They don't have a crest?
I don't know how you would notice something like that.
They don't have those giant things that the dudes do on their face. I mean, their foreheads.
Really?
Like the horn thingies aren't as big. Har har.
Haha. But yeah, I didn't really notice because I was just like, yeah, this just looks like a Turian to me. I don't really see any major difference. But okay, I'll take your word for it.
Or maybe if you like listen to your character and they have that female voice coming out of them, just like.
Oh, I guess there's that too. I was too busy poisoning everything within a 2-mile radius to care, so that was, yeah, I enjoy that. And now my poison needles explode, so that's fun too. Like exploding needles, it's fun.
Yeah, we should do that again.
Yeah. If Tekken's ever online, he's never online.
I am.
He was online playing X-Men, so I was like, oh, that's weird.
See? That's what I'm saying. Never.
That's because I should have been at work that day.
It's kind of sad though that they're stopping the challenges though. I was like, oh man, it's kind of depressing. Like,
Yeah, they're also not making any more balance updates.
Oh.
So no more nerf to buffs. So no more crying on the forums. Yay.
Oh. The whole point was it's supposed to be like arcade hard. Because that was the fun of playing it in the arcades. So, yeah.
Ooh. Are you done RPG?
I am.
Gamer, what have you been playing?
yeah, I finished Binary Domain on PC, and that remains still one of the best B games last year. Seriously, that game is so fun.
Games. Ah.
Yeah.
Hopefully they have it for free on PlayStation Plus so I can get it.
You have it on PC? What are you talking about?
I know, but then I can play co-op. We can play co-op on the PS3 version.
Seriously, the multiplayer in that game is terrible. It's just
never mind
absolutely terrible. I even tried the multiplayer, like competitive one, so it's like, wow, this is just even worse than like Metal Gear Online. Like it's so bare bones, you don't know what's happening. Oh my god, terrible. I don't even know why they added it. I can't, like, no one can even get the platinum anymore because it's so goddamn terrible. But yeah, that game is so fun, still fun again. Like, I played it again, even though I got the same ending. I don't know what forced me to do the same things as I did in the PC version, but I did the same thing.
Were you using the headset talk to your people to command them?
Oh. It seemed, I don't want to force myself to do that stupid thing.
What? I thought that was like one of the things.
I feel so, I don't know, stupid when I do those. This feels so icky. It's like, oh, I'm like using like a much more, I don't know, terrible version of Kinect. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, then Bioshock came out, and that game is pretty close to amazing.
Is it?
Pretty close to him.
So it's not amazing, is what you're saying?
Well, the only problem I have with it is like in Bioshock there was no NPCs; it was just all enemies.
Mm-hmm.
There was a couple of cinematic ones that you encountered, but other than that, there's no one else in the area except for just enemies. And here, there's NPCs that, like what Tropicals, you could interact with, and if you fire a gun at them, they'll shoot back, and the entire thing will ensue into chaos. But when you just go, there's like certain parts in the game even up to the point I'm at now, where there's like people are just standing around and then just speaking, right? But like they just stand around; they're not really active. So the city doesn't really feel alive. If you get my point, but it's like it's kind of depressing. It's like they could have done more with this. Like I don't know, it just feels weird. Like everyone's just in one point, just standing there. Kids are just playing in one area. But like
you just like lowered the textures and then like put more in and just like randomly walk around like in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, have people walking around doing stuff, doing
That's
like
the one thing I love about that game is like the crowd system. Is like it feels like an actual live city.
It's weird because like the city is amazing. Everything is not the same. There's no like same what do you call that? Like cut and paste the level design. Everything's unique. Every place has its own, has a purpose, and it's amazing. Like most of some of the game, like the background story hinges on like racial relations, where all the poor people, like, for some reason, it's like the colored people and the Irish people, they're like shit upon.
Did you just say
So
colored people?
I like it. You said
Yeah, that's what I think. It's like, do you really just say colored people?
Yeah, colored people and Irish people for some reason.
Like,
No, this isn't the game. Seriously, I'm not saying that out of my own mouth, but like,
you could just said minorities. There's
no, not even
that
minority.
option.
It's colored people and Irish people for some reason. They're like shit upon in the game, they're treated like as slaves and such. And, like, their bathrooms are like complete disaster. It's like the sink is all broken and crap. But then you go to the rich people, the normal people side. It's like their sinks are like made of like iron and gold and shit, and like the bathrooms are super clean. Oh wow, that's crazy. And then like it's crazy because Elizabeth, she's like, man, the discrepancy between why do they have separate bathrooms? It's crazy. Like Booker's like, that's how it is, babe. Like, oh man, that's crazy. Yeah.
What are the big names called in this game?
They're called handymen or handyman. I've only encountered one during I haven't fought one, but I've encountered one in a what do you call that, set piece sequence where like it tossed me into like one of those barges or something. It was crazy. It's like, oh my god, I have to fight one of these things. That's like, I mean, another gripe I have with the game, instead of the combat, still isn't good. It's still bullet sponges enemies, like, ugh. Just, and the powers are called vigors now instead of plasmids, and they're not as enjoyable to use. They have their uses, but it's like I just want to shock people all over the place. But here, oh wait, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, I think it was strange that they moved away from like the mana bar in a sense and moved to like giving you ammo for the powers, because it's like that just seemed like a strange choice to begin with. Because
it's different for each power, right? Some powers you can only use twice per bar. Some you could use like 8 times. So it depends on what kind of power you're using. Like, let's say there's this one called, I forget the full name, but it's called like the Bucking Bronco, where if you shoot it out, it'll raise everything in the path. Like everything will be floating in the air, and then you could shoot them or shot them, whatever. But then what's cool about the system, because in Bioshock you had separate powers for like you had traps, you had trap ammo, and you had like just your standard plasmas, your fire, your shock, whatever. But here in the Vigors, what's cool is like when you hold down the power to activate them, you can set a trap, and when the enemy rolls over it, the power will activate instead of you just doing it actively. You could just wait for it to happen, because sometimes these enemies do a lot of damage. So you just plant some traps and like you set it off, and oh man, it's great. But that's like the only time where it's like it feels useful, just as a trap. But if you're trying to use it actively, the only ones that are useful is like the Bucking Bronco or like the fire one. But it's weird because the fire one and the shock vigor, it's like rather than have it like shoot out of your hands like Star Wars style, it's like a ball that it's like a grenade almost, where you toss it and then it'll go off after it lands on the ground. So it's like kind of interesting how they changed it up for this game. But yeah, I'm still loving it though. Like the backstory, I'm still wondering, cause like you guys played the first hour, or I mean Tropical did, because did you go up? You went up to Columbia, right? In that hour?
Yep.
I question, how is it possible to breathe in that altitude? Because they should be like oxygen deprived. At
Magic.
At that height.
Maybe they're not real clouds.
Maybe it's a vigor of some sort.
We didn't drink a vigor on the way up.
It's weird because the people there, for some reason, they don't really use the vigors. It's only like certain enemies that use it, like the firemen or the crow guys. They're the ones using it, but all the other like NPCs, they don't really drink it. So they don't really have a use for it, rather than like in Bioshock, where it's like almost the same thing, but it's always displayed all over the place. Where it's like, oh, drink this. This will give you fire to kill people. Like,
it's funny because that's how they advertised it. So it's like,
I mean, there's some like some of the vigors have some contextual property to them. Like there's this one called possession, where when you use it, it's to possess other people or to possess the turrets, and it'll turn on the other enemies, right? But in the context of the world, they wanted you to use it so that you could have someone else like fall in love with you or something. So something like,
oh, because that's okay,
Yeah.
That's fine. Forcing someone to love you and everything. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Nothing wrong with the love bullshit.
Well, I'm glad you're okay with that.
Be sort of like getting roofied or something, but yeah.
Well.
Yeah, it's a fun game. Like, it's kind of as for like the weapons, I don't know. I'm not liking the 2-weapon system. Like, you always have to change out weapons. So like, oh, I'm running out of ammo. I change out to the submachine gun. Oh, I'm out of ammo again. And then sometimes Elizabeth will give you weapons. Like, oh, Booker, here's some ammo. Then she tosses the gun to you. Like, oh, that's kind of cool. But other than that, they're effective, but it's like, they're not really unique as from a gameplay standpoint, like just combat encounters. But yeah, I'm loving the world though. It's like, oh man, I love that everything's unique, and man, I really wish every game was like this. I still wish there was a mode where you could just like go through the world and not really encounter any combat, like just view it as it should be. I mean, there's some instances of that, but it's like it's not enough.
That would be a cool mode if like they had a what's the name of that game where it's like a first person, like just it's not really, you just walk around and you're on that island and there's no enemies or anything. It's like a exploratory. No, it's on Steam.
Miasmata?
Oh, Dear Esther.
Yeah. If it was like Dear Esther, where like you played as an NPC and you couldn't really do anything, but you're just in the world, like around other NPCs, and you just like went in the world and like explored and like talked to them and stuff. There's like no real combat or anything. Yeah. It's just like you're in the world exploring and like living in it.
Yeah, it would be fun. Definitely, especially here. Like, it's so imaginative to have a city in the sky, like almost like Miyazaki-esque, where it's like it's so. You would never think that could happen. But like, for some reason, they created this world where it's like, oh, there is actually a city in the sky, much like there's a city in the water, where it's like, I would never have imagined this would happen. I just want to see what made God, I can choose my words. Like, what would the design be of a city in the water or a city in the sky, and you get to see it happen, and it's quite an amazing feat.
Have you beaten it yet, or?
I don't think he heard you, RPG.
Oh, did you beat it yet, gamer?
No, I'm 4 hours in yesterday, and I was hoping maybe finish it. I don't know, but I came across this point where a lot of people were saying it kind of drags. Where I was like, I kind of see their point, because like, you're about to leave, and then you have to do this one more thing. Really? Yeah, Elizabeth as a character is very cool. I like her. She's fun. She's cute. You know.
So I guess that's it for what we've been playing. Thank you, Bioshock Infinite, for increasing the use of the word colored people 200% in 2013. And
yes,
it was pretty funny because like you came across this custodian where he's talking shit right about the white people. He's like, man, these white people. Then when you go across him, and like he sees you, he's like, oh, sorry, sir. I am so sorry. Like, he's speaking like slave talk. I don't know what it's called. But he changed his dialect just to, you know.
You could have just said that.
It was so much funnier this way. So much funnier this way.
No, but he changes the way he talks because, there's a white person, so I should talk differently. It's like kind of interesting that he has to change his dialect just to.
It might have been like that in the real world back in those times.
Yeah, possibly. You never know. It was kind of funny. So since I don't care. I'm Booker. I don't care.
It's true. It's like your protagonist probably it's not affecting him at all. So he's like, I'm a white male. I'm good in this world. Sucks for everybody else though. So.
But man, all those people up there, like the rich people, whatever, they're so unbelievable. Like, I would never, if I ever come across these people, I'll just like spit in their face.
Oh my.
They're disgusting people. Like, I can't stand them.
Well, what did you expect if they're going around segregating themselves and calling people color and stuff? You didn't expect them to be great, did you?
I know, but it's like, man,
Feel
these
the world
people
in
are...
the sky, and then we continued, and then we proceeded to segregate.
The story is, I did not really spoil anything, but the reason why they're in the sky is because they seceded.
Or is it because I don't want to...
They seceded from the United States because they thought it didn't follow its direction. So, you know what? We'll get away. We'll go up in the sky.
They took it to its logical extreme. It's like, screw that. We'll just live above everyone because we are above them.
It's pretty much like Bioshock, where what's his face? Andrew Ryan didn't really like
that's true.
the world, right? It's like, we'll just do our own stuff underwater. So,
and that went so well for them, so well.
Yeah.
It'd be, you'd have to overcome a lot of things to have a city in the sky, though. Biologically and physically speaking, anyway.
Well, because I was trying to find the answer to that. Like, how are they even floating without fuel or gas, whatever? But then they have this one woman.
Magic.
She just says, quantum mechanics.
Yeah,
Boom,
that doesn't really
answer
the question so much as it just...
Yeah, it could, because if it's steampunk, that means they have, like, advanced technology, it's just in the past.
No, it's not really explained how everything's floating.
You just mean this has...
She just says,
you can just say quantum mechanics for anything. That doesn't mean saying it's violating quantum mechanics or something else. Doesn't necessarily mean... It's like, yes, this is how we solve this. You're like, yeah, we're just saying, hey, physics, suck it. We're going to build this up here whether you like it or not. So, yeah, that happened. And this is why we don't have cities in the sky.
We have blimps, though. We could, like, build stuff on those.
That's different, because they were built to fly, kind of.
I don't know if you can put a building on top of a blimp.
You cannot.
It's not that much lighter than air.
But wouldn't it be amazing just to have an idea, like, if I could go to a city up in the air? That's fucking amazing. It's like, what was that city in Star Wars?
Cloud City, Vespin.
Oh, Vespin? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Every time I've seen any type of cloud-based cities in any games, it's always ended badly, especially when they always somehow inadvertently going to get crash-landed onto the planet that they're hovering above. So it's like, maybe it's not such a good idea to build our moon-sized cities up above the Earth where we know we one day might run out of fuel or something and come crashing down and destroy life as we know it. But it's okay. For now, we're happy.
And like, what's another thing where I was like thinking about, like, how would this city work, right? There will never be any nighttime or would there?
Well,
yeah, there would.
It could if they were like
because it depends on like how fast you are at or how fast you're going and like where you're at. Because like if the sun would still like rotate and like depending on where you're at, it would still like sunset and rise. So, I mean, the planet would still.
I think, yeah, you're right.
Like I understand quantum mechanics, dude.
Hey, it's been a long time, all right, since I've been in a classroom about stuff and stuff.
It does not do that. So that is not for anyone out there listening.
Because like I'm also wondering like how are they? Because like they have toilets, right? But like how they have like a sewage treatment plant? How do they have water running if everything? Because like what's cool about the city is like everything is like disconnected. Like everything is on its own island, and they just
think about it because then you start digging up things that probably shouldn't be dug up.
Breaking the illusion, gamer. Gosh,
there's no illusion because it might maybe it could work.
You don't want to put the man behind the curtain, gamer.
Why would you want to live in a flying city, gamer?
That's how it goes badly.
Because you don't have to pay taxes.
Oh, sure.
That's the worst answer.
The IRS.
I would live in the sky, so I never have to pay taxes ever.
You are.
You don't own the sky. No one does.
How do you know the government in the sky isn't charging them taxes or some ridiculous fees or something to fund whatever's going on behind the scenes in that city? Because, I mean, obviously they have to do a buttload of maintenance to make sure they still have fresh water and electricity and stuff. So I'm almost sure it's not cheap to live there. So
electricity is solved because someone made, bigger that shock vigor. That is what's powering their entire city.
A person electrocuting it constantly?
Oh, no, it's just like there's like a substance. The vigor that you drink.
So wait, the vigor itself produces electricity?
Yeah, there's something inside it that produces electricity, and that's what powers the entire city.
Oh, not right.
It's crazy, man.
I mean, I guess it makes sense from a video game perspective, but I just there's so many.
No, it just makes me think. I just wonder. That's amazing.
Well, I'm gonna stop your wondering. It wouldn't work in life, so don't hurt yourself. At least not yet. But if they ever ask you to live in the sky, say no. Say it's better that way.
Oh man, I have a stupid question of the week idea from that, but I'm not going to go there until we're at the break, so I don't want to say it out loud on air. But is that all you've been playing, gamer?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay. Well, we'll end what you've been playing here, and we might be back with news or some middle segment and stuff. Hello there, Internet. So yeah, Tropical said, brief discussion about the future. I have no idea what that means, so I'm going to let him talk.
He's going to pull out his crystal ball and start predicting.
Okay.
It also means news, though.
No, it's just like, I mean, I haven't been on for a while, so it felt to me, since I haven't really been buying new games, or I guess that's not entirely true, but mostly, I miss Tomb Raider and Bioshock now and Dead Space 3. These are all games I wanted to play, but nope.
I'm sorry.
Only getting... Anyway, and then, our Tekken is on his... He's abandoning the current gen, and he's waiting...
Yep, I got my chart filling up every month on Facebook.
See, that's awesome.
$60 a time.
But yeah, after the PS4 announcement, I've just been hungry for PS4 news. The system seems very exciting to me right now as a developer hopeful for anything, and then as a gamer, it's just wow, there's just so much stuff going on for PS4, and this week is GDC, and Sony has just been talking a lot about PS4 and Vita, and just how they're very developer focused. They just announced a ton of indie games that are coming to PS4, and I think Vita was also, so all their systems, they're courting indie developers, and I think for gamers, and it's very hard to define anymore, but if you know who you are, these are the types of games that are very exciting. It's we don't want to play the same Call of Duty every year, even though lots of people do want to. A lot of people do want to play it. Those aren't the people that they're going for. It's these experimental type games that are maybe not as polished because it's the first one, it's never been done before, but it's pushing the medium forward, and gamers who are that type of gamer are interested in that, and so PS4 has a lot going for it in that respect. And so I was just let's have a brief discussion of the future. This week there was a lot of announcements. Battlefield 4 was one of them, or I guess not really announced, but it was shown. Gamer's here, so I want to hear what he has to say about the trailer.
Looks goddamn amazing. Oh my god.
It does. It's crazy. Well, actually, my first impression was that no, it doesn't. It looked actually a lot like...
Battlefield 3.
Yeah, in my
just
mind...
with more fidelity.
Exactly. Frostbite 2 was really amazing when I first saw it, and the major difference I saw in Battlefield 4 was the characters are much more detailed than they were in Battlefield 3. And it's okay, so is this Frostbite 2 that they're running? And it turns out it's Frostbite 3.
And that's debatable. I think.
Oh, is it?
I think they're just renaming Frostbite 2 just to make it sound better.
I guess that could be true. But yeah, to me it was just like the character models look way more detailed. Just way higher poly, like they zoomed in much closer to faces, so they were just, you could see how very detailed they were, and I was just like, oh, it looks really good. And then for the most part, it's like, it reminds me a lot of Battlefield 3 on PC.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy the tech they were running it on. It's like not even out yet. It's like
yeah.
A 7990. My God.
And then, it's interesting because that game is also going to be on PS3 and 360. And I think for most of us here, it's going to be like, psh, wait for next gen and get it on next gen if we're going to get it at all.
Yeah, I've already drawn my line in the sand. It's like GTA 5, not this gen, next gen.
Really?
I do not think they're going to release it for next gen.
Unless it comes out on PC first.
I feel like GTA 5 is probably only this gen and PC.
Well, then PC it is. Time to make the switch.
So are you willing to wait like 6 months to play the PC version?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
I just don't care about this gen anymore. It's over.
While I enjoy the story and the missions, you can wait 6 months.
I guess that's a good point, gamer. It's not like I won't be able to afford it, so I could just like go out and buy it.
No. Stand your ground.
Yeah, I know. I don't have a share button. That's all that effort to record video.
I don't have a share button. Well, that's your feature. It's like
that's all I'm waiting for is to like see how that works. Because that would make my life so much simpler, just having a button that does all that.
Like I'm very excited about the whole voyeur thing. So.
Well, actually, I was thinking about that, and I was going to write it out, but I couldn't get my words all together in the time that I had. But, it's funny. Most people, when they hear share, they immediately jump to Facebook. And, so their feelings about sharing are tied to Facebook. And I was thinking about the hardware. I was like, well, it would be cool if developers actually get access to it, because then they could do things like, so for example, like fighting games. Right now, Capcom has to make a spectator lobby for there to be a spectator lobby in Street Fighter 4. Whereas with, dedicated sharing hardware, if the developers get access to it, every fighting game could have a spectator lobby because it's just there. They just, point the system to this piece of hardware here, and then that streams out to all the people who are interested in watching. That would be really cool. And, if you could do that, it's like, well, you could do lots of interesting things. You could do something like, for example, Ghost Recon had, you could have, like, picture-in-picture of, like, what your squad members are seeing.
Oh, dude.
You could do that with your entire squad.
Crazy. That would be crazy if you did that with your friends online, like co-op or something. It's like, see what they see in the mission.
And then, with that, they could do really sort of, it's not asynchronous, but asymmetrical type gameplay. So, with running gun like Call of Duty, it wouldn't really matter. But if you're doing something like, it's like a sniper has to cover his buddies down there, and he gets to see what they're seeing. And, they get to see what the sniper is seeing. And, it's a lot more tactical, a slower situation. Then having the picture-in-picture would be really cool. So this is all hypothetical. I don't even know if developers get access to the sharing hardware, but it seems to me that it doesn't necessarily have to mean Facebook-type sharing. People showing off what they're doing. It could mean sort of
interceptors.
What?
Yeah, interceptors. For those not in the know, that's a Ghost in the Shell thing. But like being able to see what other people in the game see could be really cool. It could open up new types of games. That thing
It's
that
sort of cool. Like thinking about that makes me think of like some situation where it's like you are like some like call operator and like you're trying to like direct someone out of some like crazy situation because you can like see what they're seeing and you're like, don't panic, I got this or something crazy.
Yeah. You know, like there's that game on PC where one guy is playing like a real-time strategy game, and everyone else in the game is playing a first-person shooter. It's like how that dynamic would change if the RTS person could tap into anyone's view and see what they're seeing, or point out things to them. You know, they have the overview map, and they could point out, okay, this is where I want you guys to go, and everyone can see what their commander guy is seeing.
I just thought like another thing.
I think because one of the just on what Tropical said, because I think there's other games that I've seen attempt to do something similar to that, but I guess because of hardware limitations, it wasn't necessarily possible. Because I know one of the Armored Core games where the multiplayer is like somebody serves as like your hub director kind of person, and then you have like 4 other people actually doing stuff.
Yeah.
But I think like there was like some kind of issues or something where it just didn't work well. And I don't think a lot of people bought the game, so you didn't have a lot of online stuff anyway. But I guess like going from that perspective, it would make for a lot more interesting games if you were able to, I guess, have the integration in there. This was so.
I mean, a lot of people have been saying, "Oh, there's no innovation in the PS4. It's basically just better graphics, PS3 with social stuff." And it's like, well, that's not necessarily true. And you know, this is an example of that, I think. And you know, also, if the system makes these things easier, then people can just, you know, developers can just use it. They don't have to build it from scratch. And
will they?
That's kind of an innovation. Well, you know, that's the thing. Like, how easy can you make it? If you make it easy enough, then it's like I guess in-game XMB now. You know, I don't think developers even think about it. It's just like, it works. It's not something we have to put into the game. They just have to decide whether or not to pause the game when someone pushes the home button.
They can't do that. They'll be messing up the action. Just let them get shot.
Yeah, I was gonna say like before an RPG said something, but like I don't know if Chromehounds did this, but I'm like just thinking like right now, but I don't know if there's like a unit in the game that like had a camera on it, or that like one of their thingies that they could put on the robots was a camera, but like thinking about that and like just like in like Rainbow Six or like Ghost Recon or something, or like even like Battlefield or Call of Duty, if like you're playing with your friends and like someone can just like control the UAV the whole time, and, like you have a eyes on at like every time in the game you have like an eyes on where you can like tag targets and just like do that stuff, and like you just implement it into that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be really cool. So I hope the devs get access to that, because that would be really neat. Or I can think of really neat things that people could do.
That's why I say you could think of them, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it'll actually be
well, I've discovered that I'm not that smart, so I'm pretty sure if I thought of it, then someone else did too.
You would think that, wouldn't you? Except that it's not always the case. A lot of times developers just try to take the easy way out, and they're like, well, we could do this, but yeah, let's not. And let's just make a Call of Duty game. It's easier. And makes more money.
Yeah, there was that rumor that the next Call of Duty is only going to be next gen.
I did not see that.
Can you believe that? Is that even possible?
I don't believe that.
I believe it.
I don't believe that.
I do not believe that.
Because I think the brand has come to the point where it's probably strong enough to actually sell consoles on its own. So if they were able to basically force people to buy consoles just to get their game, and then on top of it, like charge some kind of ridiculous fees and stuff for it, just for certain functions or whatever, they totally do it.
See, I think that's true, but I don't think they're that greedy to where... I mean, I think they're too greedy to where they wouldn't cut those profits from, like, selling
by
it on
saying
the
it's like...
spin.
well, yeah, I guess that's true, too, but still.
Actually...
all the money they leave on the table, they wouldn't do that.
I think, like I was saying before, it's like we'll see a lot... Well, from them, anyway, it'll be, like, they'll get the cross-generational releases, like, each year, and then, like, eventually they'll kind of, like, phase out the the current gen and be like, you know what, you guys should have the next gen by now, so you could just buy our stuff on that, or buy.
They could just pull like a Wii U and be like, oh, 6 months later, here's your version of this game that came out 6 months ago on PS4 and 720. Here you go.
Actually, what I can see is you remember Call of Duty Big Red 1? It was the last PS2 one.
That was an okay game.
And I think it was at the same, was it with Call of Duty 2 or Call of Duty 3?
Yeah, 2.
2? Yeah, so I could see a situation where it's like that, where you get basically the same Call of Duty game again for PS3 and Xbox 360, and then something entirely, or maybe not entirely new, but in some ways innovative on the next-gen consoles.
I think that was the case with the Splinter Cell Double Agent, where like the PS2 game was and like Wii game was completely different from the 360 game.
Yeah.
They did that with one of the Modern Warfare or Call of Duty, right? For the Wii one as well, or something? Or was like different from whatever the releases were for the 360 and the PS3 or something?
No, they were the same. It's just that they were,
they were
you were
Wii
playing
level.
on the Wii.
They were Wii level. Yes, they were. That's a good way to describe something. It's like, it's a Wii level. So.
If they did make a next gen version, it wouldn't hurt if you could play in the same servers as the generation that preceded.
Well, that's what I said. Cross-generational play should be like a thing they should look into regardless of, because it's like you don't want to. I just feel like you don't want to divide your fan base too much, and then it's just like people who can't. I mean, maybe they just can't afford a new console right now, but they still want to play your game with their friends or whatever. So it's like I think it should be, because I mean, would it be hard to do that, or is it just like
it would depend. I mean, I think it would ultimately, I think, maybe be unsatisfying for the people who have the next gen version. Because it's like, okay, I have a prettier version of the game that I could have bought without buying a new system.
I think it could work, because I was playing Portal 2 on PC, and, Tekken was on PS3, and that worked beautifully.
Yeah, like, technically, I think you could do it. I just don't know if it would make sense, selling-wise.
Well, I mean, because, not everybody necessarily has, like, a PS3 or 360 now, and maybe if they decided to, start with the new generation, they probably wouldn't care as much if they can still play, cross-platform, because it's like, well, I got the new console, so I can still play with other people's.
Yeah, but then, I think then you run into a situation where you actually see that you really don't need that many people to have a good online experience. I mean, you think you need millions and millions to have enough people playing games, and so the server waits aren't long and all that. But really, you only need, I don't know, several thousand, maybe. I mean, a 16-player game?
That's true.
It's true.
If there's only 16 people, there's never any wait time. Everyone's playing all the time. It's when you run into those sort of odd numbers. But, like, even Blur, you can get on Blur right now, and it'll be like, I don't know, 50 people playing. And that's still enough to get an 8-player race going.
Blur's fun. Too bad that, do well.
Yeah. So, what else is happening in the future? Oh, there was I remarked on Facebook about how it's interesting how sort of the underdogs of this generation have both revealed what they have. So, like, Battlefield is the underdog to Call of Duty, and they've shown their thing, and PS4 is sort of the underdog to the 360, and they've shown their thing, and the top dogs, well, not in the case of the 360, but they haven't said anything. They're just...
But, I think they will say something, like, Call of Duty guys, they will show something at the Microsoft reveal, for sure. I think they're gonna both, come out at the same time.
Yeah.
It would make sense, considering, especially since, Microsoft has been buttering their bread so much for the past few years. It's like, well...
I don't think they have, though. I seriously think they're not.
Besides, with all these timed exclusives for crap, it's like, I feel like they've been, like, under the tabling them for a bit. It's like, just keep your stuff with us and then we'll just...
Sounds like a euphemism.
Well, it might as well be. But, It's like, I feel like it wouldn't be too surprising if something like that did happen, where they were just like, yep, and we also want to give you this time Call of Duty exclusive for whatever our next box is going to be, so I wouldn't be surprised.
If it's a map pack, I don't give a shit, because I don't, I'm tired of buying map packs year after year. It's like, I'm not going to buy your game again.
Map packs are
your
expensive, too. It's like,
yeah, $50.
Yeah, I don't play it nearly enough.
It's like, who does this?
Well, so that brings me to an interesting thing that we were talking about on Facebook. What is Xbox gonna show? I can't really think of what they can show. I mean, assuming that the rumors are true, so those rumors are
a lot of them.
The system will be online all the time. It blocks used games. It is not really geared towards gamers. Like, gaming is not the entire focus of the system.
Kind of like this gen has been for them recently.
Yeah, it's just like, so, some of us are thinking, like, well, maybe it's because they don't know what they're supposed to say now. Because, I think if PS4 did not come out the way that it did, and they just sort of, they did a very standard, here is more powerful hardware, and obviously here are the games that we're going to be showing from our first parties, and then here are the third-party games, and, that was kind of it. I think the Xbox would have come out and been like, yeah, ours is like that too, except we have the games that you care about, and look at this. Now Live gets you so much more stuff, because you were going to pay for that anyway, because you want to play these games that you care about online. And then, and Kinect's going to be on every system, and we think Kinect is really cool, and now it's with every system, so everyone's going to be developing for it, so you'll think it's really cool too.
They're still dragging that dead horse around.
Yeah, it's like, if PS4 had just come out with a very standard reveal, and it had been very standard, I think that would have been okay. But now that the PS4 has come out and said, hey, we're getting all these indie devs, so, games you've never played before are going to be on this. It's really easy to develop for, and sharing is a big thing that we're going to go into, and, just all that stuff. And obviously their first parties are amazing right now. I think that has put Microsoft in a difficult position. Now it's like, okay, it's too late to change our box. So we, how do we position the next box or the Xbox 720? What do we tell people to say, this is why you want it always online. This is why you don't want to buy used games. This is why, Kinect is going to be awesome. This is why you want this system.
Those are interesting questions I never asked.
It is the center of the living room, so it is an entertainment system, but it still is the best gaming system that you can buy. Like, how do they do that now?
I mean, I think it'd be interesting to see with this more, I guess, entertainment-focused consoles that are coming. It's like, because even if it's not gamer-focused, they're going to have to, the games are going to still have to be there in some way, shape, or form, because otherwise they lose out on their core audience. Because, a lot of people who are, like, super Xbox fans are always like talking about how great the online system is or whatever for gaming. So I feel like if the focus shifted and now they're more concerned with, like, okay, you can stream live TV and whatever the hell else they do for live service or whatever, it's just gonna, I don't know, it just wouldn't be a good idea for me, in my opinion, in terms of, and I guess it'll be a hard sell, especially after now. It seems that, like you were saying, the PS4 seems more, I guess, gamer focused, and they're all with the developers and all this fun stuff. And I don't know if the developers and stuff will still have the same response to a system that isn't, geared towards their profession per se.
So, so for a moment, and let's just try this. I don't know if it's going to work. Pretend we are Microsoft. We want to win. we already know we're going to show Call of Duty next gen at our reveal. What else are we going to do?
Talk about our next Dance Central game. Because those are wildly popular.
I kind of think if you're Microsoft, you don't have to show anything that's internal or first party because you can just lean on all your third party connections that you've gained this gen and be like, here's the next game from Ubisoft or Activision or Take-Two or whatever.
My only concern with that is that while they have had like a strong or a decent,
because they haven't had anything this gen like first party for like the last however long, so it's like they kind of decimated their internal studios anyway. So it's like they don't.
They've created some. They're gearing up for the next system. First party
compared to Sony though, it's like it's a fart in the wind. So it's like come on, dude.
Gross.
Like,
I don't know because the thing is like Sony has a decent amount of first party studios, but they're the quality hasn't been that high for their titles, and they haven't been selling.
Well, I'll agree they haven't been selling, but I'm not going to agree that they're not quality. So, like, Heavy Rain, Uncharted,
Naughty Dog.
God of War,
I was about to say Naughty Dog and
Naughty Dog's not first
Last
party.
of Us. Oh, they're not?
They are not.
Naughty Dog is first party.
It is.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
I'm pretty sure they are.
I guess.
Yes, they are.
Sony owns everyone now. That's their thing.
Naughty Dog and Insomniac were at once at Universal. Then Naughty Dog got purchased, and Insomniac never did.
When the hell did this happen?
Years and years ago.
A long time ago, Gamer. We were all there for it. You saw it.
I think by the time Jak and Daxter came out, they were first party.
Jak and Daxter. I used to enjoy that series. Whatever happened to them?
They made Uncharted.
They made a racing game, and then they went to Uncharted.
I think they have to show first party though. Something that you can only get on their system.
Okay, Gamer.
I don't know. I think Tekken kind of has a point though, because it's like they really have been riding their third party train like this past gen so hard.
I think
that's
like
what
not
this
even proved is like you don't really need the killer first party unless you're Nintendo, because it's like you have the same games, and like even if you have awesome exclusives, like Microsoft still wants it.
Why did Sony show Killzone rather than show like Battlefield or Call of Duty? Because it's something that's only on their system.
But I didn't care when I saw that, Gamer. I was like, I don't care about Killzone.
But I did. I cared. Because, like, oh man, I'm going to get a PS4 now.
I like the tech. I was like, oh, I'd like to play an open city game that looks like this, but I was like, Killzone, whatever. I didn't buy 3.
But
so.
for them, though, because don't the, like, 360 versions of the multi-platform games usually sell more than... I mean, I guess it could be like an install-based thing, but I mean, if they usually sell more, then they probably could just ride on the whole. It's like, yeah, well, we still have these awesome third-party games, and we'll still be getting our exclusive DLC for the first few months or whatever, and we still have the best online system for.
See, I think the thing about 360 is like they have Sony's brand, like PlayStation just took a beating this gen compared to like 360, where it's like everybody, well, early on anyway, it was just like elevated to 360 more than PS3, and it's like, oh, live, all my friends are there, the games are better, and blah 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 blah, and it's just that hasn't really gone away as opposed to like PS3. It's like there's a time you couldn't go online for a while and it got hacked, and
oh yeah,
all that other bad stuff I don't want to bring up because it makes me angry.
Because it makes you want to go to your space bubble.
I mean.
But it's like they have like that brand power and like brand recognition. I don't really know if they really need to show something like first party and be like, oh, this is you can only get this on Xbox 360, blah blah blah. Because it's like, thinking about it now, it's like I don't really think I think that's what this gen proved. It's like exclusives do not matter.
Yeah,
it's like unless you're Nintendo, that you have like a game that you need to put out, and like if you don't put it out, people will not buy it. And then once you do, people will be like, oh, okay, because I get to know. It's like I don't want to use that phrase, but it's like that whole not in your DNA.
It didn't matter for 360 because they were number one in the pack. It's like, oh, because everyone's buying your system.
Well,
not because
number one now. I mean, the Wii was outselling them for years, and
the Wii doesn't.
I think what'll happen is like they'll ride that. They'll like try to like ride their branding since it's not going to be like a 1 year difference this time around. It'll be like they'll probably come out like it's like the same month, like within a month difference. Like so they won't have like that lead this time. But like instead of like hedging their bets on like, oh, you're ahead, ha ha ha, we can get them with the price cuts, blah blah down the line. It's like they can just be like, okay, well. We have more users. We have people that are tied into our live system. We'll just like carry it over into our next console and like just have a lot of the same features and services, which is what it looks like they're going to be doing anyway, since they're not going to even focus on games. And like because of that, it's like they probably won't really have anything awesome to show that's from their internal first party stuff. So it'll just be more of the same of third party, blah blah blah, we exclusive, blah blah blah, plays better, blah blah blah. So
Microsoft definitely has some hardcore fans when it comes to like their system and stuff compared to like
every penny of my pay for online play.
Compared to like Sony fans, they are a bit more rabid and will try to eat you alive if you even say anything remotely bad about the 360 or Live or Microsoft or anything. So I don't know.
I guess I can kind of see Tekken's point where they just ride the popularity of the 360 into their next generation and just sort of do the same thing.
Mm.
In which case, easy things that they could do is just like show anything innovative, and the fans can just go out and be like, see, Xbox is innovative, whereas all the PS4 stuff was just the same, plus sharing.
I totally just saw something. It's like even worse than Smart Glass. It's like all these devices that Tekken doesn't have that you can't afford. Well, just keep doing stuff like that where it's like you have to have this second screen for no reason at all, and the device it costs is like super expensive, but you think it's awesome because everybody else has it, but not Tekken, and then just it's anti-Tekken all the way.
But not Tekken.
Skittles 2.0 comes out, and I'm just like,
I would buy that.
They do that, or they show the box, and then the Xbox fans can be like, oh, well, we showed our system. The PS4 doesn't even exist. And then...
At least we know what our causes are.
But then, on the other hand, I think the mentality is different when you have to buy a console. So, when the next ones come out, and Xbox hasn't shown anything that's unique to their system, you sort of, you go out there and it's like, well, I can get all these games and the Xbox, which has all my live friends, or I can get all these games and the PS4, plus all these games that I can't get on the other system.
But you have your live friends.
I guess like in that case, they just show one and it'd be a new Halo game.
And that would be enough.
Because it always is. Or some other shooter where you shoot stuff, because that's all they do.
Where you shoot stuff? Well, yes, that's how shooters work, so...
They're probably going to announce, like, Skype integration so that it's not just like, oh, your friends are talking to you. You could have your, like, annoying girlfriend call you while you're playing games. And you can talk to her while you're playing the game.
Or your annoying boyfriend for the girls out there that game. Like,
or like, they're going to announce, like, they're probably going to announce, like, backwards compatibility, 100% or something like that. Like, you could still play your 360 games on
that would be interesting.
I'm kind of over that since I can.
They still have a disc tray.
So those are all the easy things. Like, look at what people complained about from the PS4 reveal and do those things.
Yeah.
Show the box, have backwards compatibility, show something innovative, whatever that means.
I don't know. I think even I've gotten over like the whole not seeing the box thing though, because it's like after I was like, okay, yeah, they didn't show the console, but now it's just like, I don't really care. We'll show it eventually, I guess. So
I think they have to show the box, considering E3 is like only 2 months away.
They don't have to show it, gamer. They could pull a Sony.
Because
they probably will, just to be like, oh, we showed our box.
Yeah. I seen the controller though, so there's that. I like the controller.
As far as like all the sharing stuff, like I think the Xbox does have dedicated video encoding, decoding stuff, so it can do the share thing. But I can't see Microsoft focusing on that. Because I'd be like, we did it too. That's just like, that would not go over well.
Well, the Kinect and the Move say hi.
Well, thinking about like their E3 stuff, like over the years, like the by the numbers presentation, it's usually like they usually just like douche it up with celebrities and like have services I don't care about and have I hate Microsoft. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
They're not a bad company. Like,
I disagree with that, but you can continue. Like to.
Okay, maybe hate's too strong a word, but they ruined this shit.
Well, the final thing is Ouya is supposed to come out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Ship tomorrow.
Yay.
What the fuck? Where's my Ouya? I have no confirmation yet.
Well, so for Gamer, they announced that Ouyas will begin shipping on the 28th. And then depending on when you join the Kickstarter, there'll be some delay beyond the 28th before you actually get theirs shipped out, or you're shipped out.
Really?
Yeah. So it'll be a while. Apparently there are a ton of games on the Ouya store already. The most recent story, like published story that's been going around is that apparently like a whole bunch of Nintendo emulators are going to be on the store.
Yeah.
Boy.
Which is kind of weird, but I guess technically emulators are legal. But everything that you would run on an emulator probably is not. So, that's going to be a strange situation. There's another story where, 3D printers are all the rage now.
I saw that.
They're allowing... Ouya is sending out the template for their plastic casing. Or I guess the metal casing. Anyway, the outer casing of the Ouya has a template. You can design your own and print it out on your own 3D printer and put it on your Ouya. So that's kind of cool. I'm with Gamer, though. There's not much... you would think that, it's shipping out tomorrow. We would have seen it by now. But we haven't. There's been no news at all this week.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, they haven't said like, we'll be shipping soon. Like usually when you're on Kickstarter, like people update on the status of stuff.
Yep.
They're not really updating anything.
Maybe they're just trying to save it for something.
There was a few really exciting updates before where they talked about certain games that were coming to Ouya and exclusives, and like Keely Santiago formerly of or maybe it's Kelly, formerly of that game company, is now the developer relations person at Ouya, and she is really she's like an indie champion, so that should be really cool for Ouya. I've tried some of the Ouya games, not on Ouya, but because they're indie, they can't really do exclusives. So a lot of Ouya games are actually available on PC. Two look really interesting, or the one that I saw that was really interesting was what's it called? Beast Boxing. And you can actually find this game online. It plays like Punch-Out, but it's super hard. And it looks fantastic. So that's going to be a Ouya game at launch. So I think sometime between now and June, that game will be out on Ouya. So people have compiled lists ranging from like 50 to 500 games that will be available by June on Ouya. Yet to know if any of them will be good. But that beast boxing is like if they can reach half of the quality of this and the imagination of some of the other games I've seen for this system, it should be pretty interesting. The other one I tried was I think it's called Offensive Combat. Right now it's a Facebook game. It's like a Unreal Tournament for Facebook, and it runs on Unity. So if you go to Facebook and you type in Offensive Combat, you'll be playing a full 3D first-person shooter in your browser. It's pretty amazing. And it has sort of a Gotham Imposters type vibe to it. It's very cool. But yeah, really, I don't know much, but Ouya is coming out soon. So Gamer and I will be getting that immediately, and so more on that in the future.
Okay, I just thought of another theory for Microsoft's reveal, is that they just open up their closet and reach into the top shelf with all the money hats and just hand them out to everybody.
It's like free money for everybody.
It's gonna be announced day and date. Oh, you can go to the store right now and buy it.
I know. But for those who are here, they're under your seats. So you can have one, and you can have one.
Or just pulling the old, you remember when Lost Planet was exclusive to 360, or Dead Rising, or Bioshock, or all these other games that were exclusive, or X amount of months before they came
I was
to
just about to say, but
another
they're not
platform.
now.
So yeah, they have exclusives for a while after launch, and then after that,
we're gonna
after
money
they-
hat everyone.
after all their fluffers go out and buy them, yeah.
So yeah, I guess that failed. We can't be Microsoft.
Well, to be fair, Microsoft.
We don't like them enough.
So, so there's that.
Yes. So yeah, that is my. Let's have a brief discussion of the future, and we did hear some news. So yay! Combine 2 sections into one. As you can probably guess, I am running short on time. My time is no longer my own.
I'm sorry. Baby harness. Next time.
So
Did you
yeah,
talk about Metal Gear Solid 5 at all?
nope. Metal Gear Solid
Oh.
5 is a real thing.
It is.
I can't believe it's current gen. That looks amazing.
Yeah.
Holy
It's
shit.
the Phantom Pain plus Ground Zeroes is Metal Gear Solid 5. Apparently, Ground Zeroes is the prequel part, and
So
then
it was just a prologue.
right, the prologue part, and then Metal Gear Solid or the Phantom Pain is the main game. So
Yeah,
it's going to
pretty
be
much-
like the tanker and
Yeah.
the Big Shell. So there you go. I don't understand the elaborate ruse that they were doing with the
I thought
big
that was
Because it's Kojima.
I did
That's
enjoy
why.
that, and I thought that was very insulting to the fans. So I thought, like, the whole time that was happening, I was like, screw you, Kojima, because I'm
Well,
not going to
Kojima said he wanted to have fun with unveiling.
I was just about to
Even
say,
though-
he was just having a little fun. I don't know why you be getting all up in arms about
I'm not
it.
getting up in arms. I'm just saying, like, the whole, like, I just didn't, like, read any of it. I was just like, I'm going to wait for the trailer and the day, and then whatever. I'm not going
The
to...
other thing, you know, now that has happened, like, and it says Xbox 360 and PS3, it's like, can you believe that anymore? You can't really.
Like I said,
believe
Tropical,
anything out of it.
exclusives are dead. They no longer matter.
Well,
No, he's just
Oh.
talking about is it
Like,
coming
they're gonna
into
be-
next gen.
Yeah, is it gonna?
Oh, I hope so, because seriously, man, like, share button, waiting.
turn this damn share button.
Or at least PC,
But,
seriously.
like, even then, it's like, what would the PlayStation 4 or next Xbox, what would it add to the game if just by looking better? I mean, it looks great as it
I was
is.
just about to
but
say it already
gamer-
looks great anyway. It's not like it's. This is why I'm not worried about jumping on the next gen anytime soon. They're still making pretty games.
Jump into people's games and help them, and they'd be like, thanks, Tekken. I'd be like, you're welcome. I
Well,
can be an
that-
internet legend saving people.
Except that you're the one who always needs saving.
Hey,
Sorry,
as long as there's no doors,
words every
everything's cool.
15 seconds.
As long as there's no doors, everything's cool.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's really funny because like if that is what it looked like on PS3 and 360, you know that plus God of War Ascension, it's just like last gen with PS2. It's like, well, we have games that look like this. Why do we need the next generation?
Share button.
God, I'm gonna punch you.
Maybe that's why.
Oh, because some of the developers are so incompetent when they come to trying to limit their things on consoles.
We just want so much RAM that it doesn't matter how much we throw at it. It just all works.
Like Chuck
Yeah.
said, you just want a really big bucket and just pour it all in there.
Yeah,
and
but I
there
hate
you go.
optimization. We don't need to optimize. Just give us more RAM.
It's the lazy way.
It doesn't actually work like that, if you're wondering. You can use up RAM so fast. It's like, oh, my 2D sprite game. If I run it for 2 hours, it will crash my computer, even though it has 2 gigs of RAM, and there's only one sprite.
You never know, gamer. You might finally be getting some uncompressed stuff where it's not all super compressed, and you're like, oh, this sucks compressed and it's terrible. Ah.
No, but that's video.
Doesn't hurt.
Like, at my next gen, there should be none of that, because everything should be rendered real time.
I say that now.
It better be the future.
I'm just glad that we can finally talk about the future, and I don't have crazy prophetical. Oh, it's the end. It's a crash. It's over. The console,
Well, it is.
the gaming industry is gonna die.
Just one
It's like I've seen the PS4, and all I am is happy.
for now.
Share button.
Oh, God.
I like it too. All right, so I'm gonna sign off. That was
Bye,
fun.
Tropical.
Another filler. Yeah. Bye. Oh, you're gonna continue? Okay.
No, we're gonna sign off too because we have nothing more to say. Does anybody else have anything to add?
I do not.
Gamer.
IPTV, Microsoft is going to show it. It's going to rock the entire industry.
I don't know what that is.
Says you. I'd rather have a share button. Okay, I guess you can sign up and
Damn shit.
RPG.
Well, Square Enix, Capcom, still on the suck list. Keep up the good work. And other than
Hey,
that,
they announced DuckTales, man. They announced DuckTales.
that doesn't make it okay.
One game gamer with dated mechanics. Doesn't look that great. Just saying. And yeah, I am a bit jaded. Sorry, I'm getting old.
I just want to hear those voices again.
Any words to sign us off, gamer?
Tunes on YouTube.
Buy Bioshock Infinite, because it's amazing. Or close to amazing. I haven't finished it yet, so I can't say.
I was like, that's not convincing me to buy it at all.
I have to finish it first.
Alright, I have a new sign off now, so thanks for listening to us, and check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and all the other crap. But later this year, I cannot wait for you to see the stuff I share with my share button.
I'm going to. Seriously.
So yeah, until next episode, we're now set.
Just another quiet day.